Well, first of all, thank you very much for sitting down to talk about Armor with FandomWire. We had a lot of fun watching this movie. What first drew you to this project?
Well, what I really liked about it was the fact that it's an action movie, right?
Yeah.
But it's at its core, it really is about, a father and son kind of being forced to repair their relationship, and a father just as a man being forced to repair his own life, really. And
Mhm.
that's what I think really made it stand out from other action scripts that I've read, and that's definitely what drew me to it.
Well, you mentioned already that you were excited because it's an action movie. What specifically about action movies are you a big fan of? Because obviously there's the stunts, choreography, the big explosions, which this movie has plenty of. What makes you so excited about being in action films?
Well, what made me excited was the fact that I'd never been in one before. So that was a cool experience for me. I've pretty much always done drama, and I've done fight scenes and stuff, but yeah, it doesn't really count. So being in an actual action movie was definitely interesting for me. I loved bringing that intensity during some of the more intense scenes, and
Yeah.
kind of trying to help with the kinetic energy of the film, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I was gonna say you and Jason Patrick have such a great chemistry from the jump. How did you guys go about developing that during the course of the shoot?
It's funny because I mean he came. We only had really one night before of going making a pass at the script together, and
Mhm.
so it really was mostly just on the day stuff. But it kind of lent itself because of the two characters are supposed to kind of have a disconnect
Mhm.
in the film, and so it kind of I think the lack of preparation almost kind of lent itself to that in a way.
Mhm.
But over time, you get more comfortable with each other, and hopefully the arc presents itself. But yeah.
Well, did he give you any tips as a performer as you guys were going through things to help bring out those moments of emotion? Because you really do feel it from the minute you guys sit down for that dinner scene all the way towards the end of the movie. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but there's just a lot of chemistry there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know, no direct tips or anything, but I definitely learned things just watching him. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time, obviously, and just his willingness to make changes and adjust parts of the script to try to communicate the ideas better, and just being comfortable doing that is definitely something that I observed a lot during the shoot.
And then obviously another big actor on set is Sylvester Stallone. What did it feel
Who?
like to be in an action movie with Sly?
It was cool. It was awesome. It was weird. I've worked with some big names, but
Mhm.
Stallone is, he kind of transcends like Hollywood entertainment. He's such a part of like the American iconography,
Yeah.
So it was kind of a different deal. But yeah, it was great. I mean, he was super nice, and same thing with Jason. I mean, just watching him in control on set was really enlightening.
Well, especially because he comes not only from an acting side, but also as a director. Did
Mhm.
he provide some of that extra support on set for you and the rest of the crew?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I mean. I mean, just his ability to communicate with the cameras, knowing what they were doing, knowing what they were trying to communicate on screen. Like, okay, if you're here, my eye line's here. If you're moving here, that means I need to. It was all just you could tell he could do it in his sleep, and it was impressive. And I hope to get that good someday.
Well, and then this is your first time working with Justin Rote, from what I could tell. What about him as a director really spoke to you to help join this project beyond the
Uh,
action stuff?
yeah, yeah. Just the freedom to communicate and change ideas, and just his ability to kind of handle a project like this, which is so action heavy. It was such a short shoot. Trying to accomplish everything he needed
Mhm.
to accomplish was a Herculean task, and he did a great job, and just created a good vibe on set, and it was just a good time.
Well, and then there's a lot going on with how the environment kind of changes for you throughout the movie. Did you find it, I guess, more difficult to have just those one-on-one scenes with Jason in the back of the truck versus being able to have the fun moments earlier in the film?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, that really is. I mean, that's the meat and potatoes of the story,
Mhm.
obviously. So, that's why I wanted to do it was for those scenes, and just being in that close quarters, in a hot environment, just kind of being forced to to bounce off each other was a really cool experience. And you know, it's what acting's all about. So it was fun.
Was there anything you did in particular to prep for the film as an action film? Like, what did you feel like you had to get super in shape, or was there any cool things you had to do in the process for this film?
Well, luckily, a lot of it's you know me sitting in the truck, so I don't have to
I
do
was
too
gonna
much
say
cardio,
it's,
which
it's
was
a little
nice.
different for you.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just no preparation really, just kind of being open to this new genre and experiencing it, and trying to bring all the intensity I could to it to kind of lend itself to that vibe. But yeah, just really just rolling with the punches.
Well, I mean, we talked about action films a lot already, but this obviously falls into that heist subgenre. Were there any heist films you went back to watch to kind of draw
Mm.
inspiration from for Armor?
It's a good question. I didn't go back to draw anything. I mean, I you know I've seen the Ocean's movies and
Right.
you know stuff like that growing up. But yeah, I think just going into it, kind of embracing what it is, and
Hmm.
just trying to bring the character to life is really all you can do. You know.
Makes sense. And obviously, you're still an up-and-coming actor. What are some roles that you're looking to take on in the near future that you think are going to be big ones for us to keep an eye out for?
Man, I don't know. Hopefully a Western. That's my goal. If I
Hmm.
can do a Western, I'm good. So if that happens, then you know, I'll call you up. We'll do another interview.
Well, are you shooting anything currently, or are you just waiting
No,
on the
no,
next
no,
show?
no, nothing right now. Yeah.
All right, great. Well, hey, Josh, thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And Armor's awesome. It's a lot of fun, and I think you do a great job in it, especially in those dramatic scenes in the back of the truck. Those are some of my favorite scenes in the movie for sure.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. Have a great day.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it.